Hello everyone, welcome to the stream today. We will be continuing our work on the TWANG 1D dungeon, as you as you might have seen on the previous streams. We have been working on this hardware, or on porting this 1D game, which runs on LED strings like these and uses a joystick from Arduino to an FPGA. And the path that we took is essentially porting the code base to Python, basically as an exercise for myself, and to eventually get it to work in MicroPython running on the Icebreaker on this board. So the Icebreaker FPGA will be running a RISC-V microcontroller and running MicroPython, and then with that we will be running the game on this. But I also wanted to have the capability of emulating the game for easier development on the PC. So it is a full Python script using Pygame, and Pygame is then simulating the LEDs. This way we don't have too many complicated or other dependencies besides Pygame, and we can run the games directly on your computer, and you can develop new levels, new screensavers, and other new features going down the road. Yeah, so where did we leave off last time? Kriva, is that the right pronunciation? 404, welcome to the stream, howdy. All right, so let's see, PC desktop, there we go. So yeah, you see this is the string of LEDs that the game will be running on. Here is a joystick. It is a clicky joystick. It is not exactly the controller that you would use for TWANG, the original game. You would be using a door spring and an IMU. I actually decided to order an IMU and a door spring, so this stuff should arrive next week. So we should be able to also support the original TWANG controller to play the game with, but the main target for the installation that I'm planning for Tour Camp is the clicky controller for robustness reasons, and how I think this will be easier to weatherproof, and because the whole installation will be outdoors and it is possible to rain. So the LED string and the controller board and everything has to be in some Tupperware containers and be weatherproof. Okay, so that's for the hardware part of things. Today we will just continue our work on implementing the software. And the software is a port of the Arduino C++-ish code to Python. And while we are at it, I'm trying to clean up the structure and use some typical computer sciencey approaches to the system. But that's not that relevant. I'm just hoping that it will be easier to read than some of the original spaghetti code. Yeah, so as you see, since last stream I did some cleanup. First of all, I added finally a license to it, which I should have added in the first place, but it is a similar license to the original code. Original code was MIT license. This is a 2-clause BSD license. They are fairly compatible to each other, and this is a complete rewrite, as you see, which I could put any license I want theoretically on it, but I think I want to stay with the spirit of the original game, and as it is just more or less a toy, I don't see any reason to not make it as permissive as possible. Then besides adding the license header, I also did some cleanup. Why is it complaining here? That's an interesting thing. Not on top of the file. Interesting. Interesting. First of all, this is wrong. Yeah, so I will get to this. I will get to my setup because things change also regarding the programming setup here. But besides the headers, I also refactored, if I don't remember correctly, my commits. I also changed the structure, how we had the problem that the Hsv values, when we were setting them, this was a method of the LED string or the LED object itself. And we needed to be able to create an Hsv value and add it to an existing RGB value. This was impossible with the previous setup. Welcome to the stream. Howdy. The problem was I had only in place Hsv assignment, and that was overwriting the RGB value in the position of the LED. There are different approaches we could take here. On a normal, not embedded system, we would just create an LED object with an Hsv value and then add the two LEDs together, but then you would have to instantiate a new LED, which is a new class instantiation, and I would like to prevent having to add that and having to create new objects on an embedded system to save on the memory allocation and deallocation and not have as much strain on the garbage collector and stuff like that. So I'm trying to have all the classes pre-allocated overall as a goal for the project, and have and only work as much as possible with basic types of Python. That's the thought here. We will see. We will have to profile the whole stuff if we run into performance issues anyways down the road. But for now, that's at least trying to be gentle to the system before we end up with a lot of optimization much later. In general, the rule is early optimization is the root of all evil. That's the saying, right? I'm not trying to over-optimize from the get-go and make the code complicated and hard to read, but still be cautious and be aware of this. So what I did is I factored out the Hsv Converter functions. So they are just module level functions, the Hsv Spectrum and Hsv Rainbow. As I was explaining last stream, one is using a different hue distribution, or one is using a rainbow hue and the other one is using a computated spectrum hue, which have different visual aspects to it. The yellow is more present in the rainbow than in spectrum, and it looks more even to a human eye. So these functions now take Hsv values and then convert them to an RGB value and return it as a vector. So RGB is being returned at the end of the function. So that with that, I can then take those values and just use the add, so just add it onto a LED, and then it will figure out if it is a tuple, then it will just add it. If it is an LED, then it will add it. This is what we want to prevent. We don't really want to do this if we can avoid it, as I explained before, because of the allocation reasons. So if we look here at the screensaver class, which is the factored out screensaver, this is using the addition here. So we have an LED string and we are accessing one of the LEDs. We use the plus equal sign, so we add on and assign directly to the LED string the Hsv rainbow conversion. So that is the change. And now, after doing all those changes, we can also look a little bit more at the at my commits. So we did that on the last stream. We implemented the shield attack and then factored out player. So I moved that out into its own class and then made the Hsv values, added license, and this is just janitorial stuff regarding the change of the environment. Okay, so let's get to that. In previous two streams, I was using what is it called? PyCharm, exactly. PyCharm community. So the unpaid, the free version of PyCharm, which is a really pretty good IDE for Python. And I have to say I like it a lot, but I was experiencing slowdowns and lockups when I was using it during the stream, because I think my laptop is being strained quite a lot because I'm doing all this streaming and then capturing all the video streams, and then having also PyCharm running at the same time on the system ends up being just a little bit too much. So I decided to switch everything over to Sublime Text, which is a much lighter environment. It's not really an IDE, but it's a text editor with really powerful plugins. It uses, I think, even Python as scripting, but I didn't really look into that yet because I was just using off-the-shelf plugins. And so in Sublime, I was using. I'm using Anaconda, which is a plugin. Don't confuse it with the Python distribution. They share the same name, but they are very different two things. Anaconda for Sublime Text is a plugin that provides you with linting and basically gives you error information. So for example, if we go on the class player, it says here in the left lower corner, I hope this is visible. I should probably make it bigger, but here in the left lower corner, it says what the error is. According to PEP8, which is Python standard for like community standard, essentially it says what the style guides are. It says that before a class there are two empty lines expected, so to comply with the standard, and it should be actually complaining, and then it complains about also syntax issues and errors and other stuff that we might be doing wrong. Yeah, for example, I'm missing white space around operator, stuff like that. I also spent some time playing around with a lot of programming fonts. I hope this one will work for you. I think I feel like it is fairly readable. It is Monoid. It's a very nice font that I found. It essentially appealed to me the most as the most readable one. I also am using not the ligatured font. A friend of mine made a very good argument that for learning purposes, if you guys are following along and are in some way seeing this as a possibility to learn a little bit about Python, I think all the characters should be distinct and not using ligatures, which are pretty, but they obscure what characters were used where. So for example, if you have double equal sign, you have the long equal, then it will convert it to one long equal as a character, as a glyph, and arrows, so dash, triangular bracket, it will convert it into an arrow, and so on and so forth. So this font I has the capability of ligatures, but I disabled the ligatures for the stream. So anyways, I hope this is fairly readable and will be visible on the stream even at lower resolutions of the stream. Anyway, so you guys will tell me, and we will adjust as we go along, hopefully to improve readability of the screen. Okay, so that was a lengthy intro, but I wanted to get into the meat of it as soon as I can, because I want to move forward a little bit more for the port. So far, we have ported, so let's see, in the README we have a list of things that we ported. I still think that controls are just semi-supported, so as long as we don't have an analog controller that we can use, this is still not really a solved problem. We have the player implemented, we have the full screensaver implemented, and today I was thinking of implementing the enemy and probably particles, which will allow us to have an enemy, maybe kill the enemy, and then also die with particles. So that was the plan for today. Let's hope that, let's see how far we get. So, if you have any questions, as always, just ask in the chat on Twitch. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Oh, the whole code is available on GitHub. You can find it. Let's see, this is the wrong window. This window. This is TWANG, and you can find it on GitHub here. So let me just post it here in chat, just for reference. Oh, wrong buttons. This is when you use Mac and Linux with the same keyboard. Same type of keyboard. There we go. That's better. Okay. So we have also the other code base, the original code base. We have it here. And let's look at what we need. This is the screensaver. Let's see how the enemy is implemented. Draw attack. So I know that the enemies are level, spawn conveyor, cleanup level. That just kills everything. We will get to levels later. Boss, spawn boss. This is spawn layer, level. We can spawn enemy or have a spawn pool. These are two different ways of having enemies. We will just do spawn enemy for now. So let's look how spawn enemy works. So spawn enemy, it has an enemy pool, and I think there are up to 5 enemies or something. And then each enemy can be then spawned with position, direction, speed, and wobble. And that are the parameters of each enemy. And then player side. Player position. Huh. Interesting. What does that mean? It basically... Oh. Okay, let's look at the enemy implementation here. So we have a tick of the enemy, which is the correct implementation. Not all the classes of objects have ticks internally. Right, so it is using sign. We will have to create a fixed point sign function eventually, ported from the because I'm currently using the floating point version of sign. Speed, kill, wobble, and then player position. This is weird. Pull, spawn, player side, player side, player side, and what is it being used for? That's curious. Hello? Spawn is there, but player side, okay. Hit player. Huh. Oh, I see. Because the movement speed, right. That makes sense. So essentially, if you have the player here, and you have an enemy here, and they are both moving, they can move more than 1 pixel at a time. So if the current position of the player is here and 1 frame, and the other frame, the sign of the position versus player swaps, it means the enemy went through the player. That's what it is. And then it essentially makes the player die. Right. That's interesting. So maybe we will just start with having so tick enemies goes through all the enemies. If they're alive, they're being ticked. If I am attacking, so basically checks first if the player is attacking, and then enemy position, player position is greater than player position, attack with, so it is in the range of the so if the player attack is in the range of the enemy, then it will kill, or if it is in lava, it will die. And if it is still alive after these two, then it is being drawn. Okay, so I think we will have tick the enemy, which will also do the game logic. And then, yeah, we have to decide where we put the general tick logic, because this actually, in my opinion, belongs into the enemy class itself and not externally as like a function that you call in a row. That's my opinion, but we will see. Maybe there's a good reason to keep it outside. And if it is still alive, it is being drawn. And then if it is drawn, then we check if we hit the player. If we did hit the player, then we make the player die. Okay, so let's create a new class. I usually start here. So class enemy. We don't need that. right? Player, then okay. Okay, so what were the init variables? Let's just look at that. Position, direction, speed, and wobble. The direction is essentially just if it is going up and down. Why do we need direction? Why can't we have that distinguished by speed, or the sign of the speed? Because, oh, speed is unsigned int. Is there a good reason for that? I don't think so. So if we have enemy tick, yeah, if the direction is 0, so basically just the Boolean, why can't we just add and subtract it? Oh, I have arisen. Yeah. Yeah, this is how you end up with weird nicks on different platforms, by just by just choosing something at first and then staying with the name. All right, yeah. Still welcome. Thank you for coming over from René. Yeah, so... Yeah, so I don't see a reason why we should do this way. We should just add the speed, and then the sign of the speed should be the direction. It's like, yeah, I don't... this just adds one additional bit by wasting an additional byte of data. We are on an embedded system. Why are you doing this? Why are you wasting an additional byte? That's terrible. The 1 byte. Yep, okay, so... position. How did I do this for the player? I think I said... I also said, well, direction here makes sense because yeah, we don't have a built-in speed. We don't have an AI, quote-unquote, for the player. It's just the direction of the strip. Direction, and then we have also... we have position. Yeah, let's just spell it out. Position and speed and wobble, and then we can just assign this self position self wobble. Then what else? Let's look at this. Wobble, position, speed. We have speed. We don't have direction. And alive, yes. Let's do true. Okay. Then how did I sort it out? I created a draw, and then I created a tick. Yeah, it was a few days since I wrote the other player, so I have to reference how I implemented it. Draw and self. I'm pretty sure I can also autocomplete this kind of stuff in Sublime Text. I just have to enable it somewhere. It's a little bit more, so Sublime, PyCharm definitely comes with a little bit more defaults for programming Python, which makes sense. It is meant to be an IDE for Python. For Sublime Text, you have to install a bunch of stuff and then configure it a little bit. But it still does the same job at the end if you set it up correctly. I will continue tinkering with it as per usual. Okay, so draw, and yeah, draw requires time. I don't think we need time at the moment though. So this is something we were talking about. We want to distribute time throughout all the objects in a sane way, in some reasonable way. So I think there will be a some class that manages time, or it will be the general game state that all the objects will have access to, and then we just tick through them. I didn't make a final decision how to structure that part yet. Anyways, so we just, oh, right. So what we also did is we passed the LED string to this. So let's do that. String, and now we can if alive, then we can just yeah, the draw was essentially, where's the draw function? Oh, it is here. Ugh, that's why. If alive, and then just set that LED to red, and that's it. Oh, I love that song. This is good. Yeah. And then, yeah, we can just copy that. And the enemy is red. Okay, and then we should implement the tick. And we do need time here. In theory, we could just base it not on the global time, but essentially just use your previous state to calculate your next state. So a lot of this stuff could be more self-dependent and self-calculating than using the global time as your reference. So then we would not need to distribute as much time around. As we know, we are running at 60 FPS. We could really assume, oh, we were called already before, then we can be called again. And then with each, we are just advancing our tick. But yeah, let's stay to the way it was implemented here for now. So if wobble is larger than 0, then we do this, and then this will be the wobble speed. And if it's the position is origin. Oh, origin. Origin is the position. I see. So the current position versus origin. So it is using the position to initialize. Okay, so let's do that. Position and origin. Let's do that. And then if wobble and self wobble, Then we do this, else. This is the easier part first. Oh, it kills itself when it goes out of bounds. Interesting. That's neat. Oh, this is how they are implementing the spawners. So essentially, if you have a spawner on this thing, so it spawns an enemy and then it goes in a certain direction at a certain speed. And then when it falls out of the strip, it gets killed. So you can respawn a new one and then do the same thing over and over and over again. That's neat. Okay, so yeah, and we are working here in global coordinates. We don't need to do that. We can. I have to change. Yeah, so the 1,000 world size versus the actual physical LED size. This is something I also have to sort out and figure out how I want to implement this. But for now, we are just working in the physical LED string coordinates. It's just one coordinate, right? Okay, so yeah, position plus equals self.speed, and then if position is larger equal len self.letString, then we call self.kill. Why do we need to call kill? We can just set us to just dead. Yeah. Yeah, it is nice in a way from the way you're writing it. Yeah, let's do this for now. Yeah, this way we don't have to check twice. It's smaller 0. So we kill it in both cases. Oh, we can just do this if and then or pause smaller 0, then we kill, and that's it. Okay. And let's implement this part now. Position is origin, and then we have to do conversion here. Okay, self.position equals origin plus, yeah, this will be interesting. Yeah, let me see how I implemented it in the screensaver. So I did essentially multiply because it is in radians here, so I pass it in radians, but here it goes from 0 to 255 is the angle from 0 to 255. So it is the time divided. So every 3 seconds. So it is a 3 second around the circle. So I will take millis, divide it, then I get a floating point number that I can multiply by 2 pi, which will be in radians, then I have to multiply it by speed, then multiply it by 2 pi, then I can pass it to sine. then multiply by 255. Oh my goodness. Okay. I should probably make a helper function for sine calculation to abstract this, because this is annoying. Utils, where is it? CNATE. So we are passing angle, and then we do rad equals angle divided by 255. This should be 0 to 1, correct? And then times oh, I should also import math. It's always available? Are you sure about that? Huh. It did complain before. Isn't that a new thing? Maybe this... Okay. Math is always available. Thank you, Anaconda, for telling me that. That's nice. Okay. Where was I? Again. Math sin math pi. Okay. So... times 2. So 2 pi. So tau. And then we should have the full angle, and then red should be... What are you complaining about so hard? 2 blank lines. Okay. And 2 blank lines. Okay. All right. Int. We don't need to do that yet. Sin math sin rad, and then times. So from minus to plus, right? From minus to plus. Right. Let's look how this sign is implemented here. What does it return? Does it return an int, which is plus minus 255? Yeah, I do think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay. So times 255. Okay, so what are you complaining? Yeah, you are complaining that it is not defined locally. The module is always available, okay. And then return int red. So to make it a fixed point number. Okay. So one thing that I still have to figure out here in this setup is to run the Sublime REPL. I have not figured out how to run the virtual environment here. And then, so if I run Python, it only runs Python 2.0, Python 2 and not Python 3. I want to use my virtual env, but I could not find the parameters for it yet. So I would love to try this out. I could theoretically just, yeah, I have to figure out how to do this correctly to run a repo and then try it out, the sign that it works correctly. But anyways, this should work. So I'm taking the angle, dividing the angle by 255 to get a fixed point, to get a floating point value from -1 to +1, then multiply it by 2 pi, which would be the whole circle. Is that correct? Maybe it has to be just multiplied by pi, because it is half of the circle is plus pi, the other one is... Yeah, that's Python 2 is really difficult to kill, it seems. Okay, so that should be correct, because it's going from minus to plus, so it is just 1 pi. And then we take the pi, run it through sin, multiply it by 255 to get from minus to plus 255, and then return that as a fixed point number. Okay, so that should work. Let's go back here and origin. So where were we? So we take millis through 3000. Okay, so sin 8. Oh, and it is util. Oh, I don't have that imported yet. Utils sin 8, and we pass time divided by 1000. Yes, yeah, and then multiplied by speed. It should work, I hope. Multiplied by speed, and then this will return an int number that I can then multiply by Wobble. Wobble, and that should calculate the position. Okay, so let's see. What are you complaining about here? Undefined name origin, so self-origin, right? And what is the problem here? It is the position. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay, better? Better, okay. So now we should create an enemy. Enemy equals just enemy. And then we need let string. Comma, let string, and position, right? So let's put the position at, the string is 144 long, so let's do at 100, and then speed, I think, is the next one. Let's have this also on the screen here. Position speed should be minus, just -1, so it slowly moves, and then wobble should be 0 for now. So let's see that it is actually moving towards the player. And all we need to do is player, then enemy.tick, and then player draw, and then enemy draw. Or maybe, whatever. We have to reorganize that stuff anyways. Enemy draw, and then time. Okay. And let's build it and see what crashes. So what did break? In main. Missing one required positional argument, time. For enemy tick? I thought we didn't use tick. Oh, we didn't use it in draw. Ah, that's why. Yeah, it probably should be a convention. Let's run it. And what fails this time? Oh, no pause, of course. It's not pause, it's position. Yeah. Position. Let's see. Bam! Perfect. Very good. Nice. Oh, and also we should do the tick only if we if self dot alive, then, but if not alive, then just return. Right? Yeah, that's better. This way we are immediately returning. Bam! And a dice. And vonk, dead. Okay. Yeah, and we should still be able to move as the player. Yep. But we don't. Okay, let's check if there's anything. There we go. Okay, so it is moving. Oh, we wanted to test the wobble, right? Let's test the wobble. Let's do 2. Oh, this will be wobbling a lot. Right. Because it's 255. So let's do just 1. Oh, that's going pretty slow. Huh. Let's increase speed. Will it stop? What? Let's slow down. Hello. Yeah, 255 is the full length. Yeah, it is, I think, slowing down. And then it crashes. Okay, so what happened? Yeah, we should modular that position, I guess. Position, yeah. Should modular the position by the size of the string, shouldn't we? Also wobble. Should increase speed. Yeah, I know. Index out of range. Yeah, I know, obviously. Oh, I know what's happening. Because the output is positive and negative. Right. Yeah, plus minus. Then it goes completely bonkers there. It goes from minus, so in Python, fortunately, you can, well, fortunately or unfortunately, if you access it with a negative number, you are starting from the right side, from the end of the string, of the array, and the other way you get from the left side, in depending on how you imagine arrays being represented in your own head. But let's assume 0 is here and it increases to the right. If you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 this way, then you have from the very end right side, you go -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on and so forth. So that's why it started out working first. Okay. So how are they dealing with that here? So they are because it is wrapping around, isn't it? Position. And position is an int. Yeah, position is an int. So when they are how are you drawing it then? Get LED. Get LED. Get LED converts to the LED realm. Get LED. Where's the get LED thing? Come on. Come on, where's the get LED? Oh, come on. Definition there. Constrain. So it uses the constrain function from Arduino. Let's look up the implementation of that. So x is between a and b, less than a if less than a. Oh, okay, so it basically just pins it between those two numbers. So it is stuck between those two numbers. Yeah, we can do that. So let's add that to our utilities, just like we did range map, range constrain, let's call it that. X, comma, A, B, if X smaller A, X larger B, return B, else return X. Okay. What is it complaining here? What am I doing wrong here? Oh, what? Why? That was dumb. Okay, go. Then let's go back here and then do utils dot range constrain the number and then do that between 0 and len self let string. Yeah, I should break this up, huh? This is a very long yeah. Let's just do this. Let's do this way. This. Okay, so utis range constraint, new pause, 0 to length. Okay, so this is one thing. Then the other one is I wanted to decrease the wobble range. So this position is here. Wobble, 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 0.1. And then increase the speed by a bunch. Let's see if that works. Kaboom! Explode. Why did we explode? What did I do? Huh? Not supported between instances of tuple and int. What? Why is it a tuple? What? Oh, what did I do here? Yeah. Now I see that I just copy pasted something completely wrong here. Sorry. There we go. There we go. Now it's correct. New pause. Yeah, this is correct. The RGB was just a completely wrong thing to copy over there. Yeah. And then do 0.1. Let's see what happens now. Self len. And this is let string. Position RGB. This should be correct. Right. So this is exploding because the value is still out of range. Anyways, I need to take a really short break. Be right back. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. So, what's the problem here? And let me draw. Yeah, I did constrain the position. New position. Oh. No, it should be. Oh, yeah, it is including, right? That's the problem. It's including. Is greater than b. So, yeah, it should be -1. ln -1. Yeah, it's still breaking. $100. Oh, speed is -100. Wait a second. Let's try it again like this. That doesn't work. Why? Yeah, where is it? It's somewhere in the pampas, in the in the ether. Great. What did I do? Position speed. Let string position speed. Let string position speed. So this is disappearing in 6 frames. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's do. This disappear. It's like locks itself in the end there, then goes on the end here. Holy schmoly. Okay, I think I need to look at the numbers though. Yeah, why can't I divide this? Indices or slices? Yeah, because Wobble is yeah, so I would have to do this. Yeah. So it is doing something, but I still have the feeling I'm doing something pretty wrong here. Okay, so let's monitor the position of the thing as well as what the hell I'm doing here in this calculation, because this seems like it is wrong. So it should be every 3 seconds. It should go. So it should be 6 seconds for the whole full circle, is that right? And then times speed? Yeah. Oh, not true. It's 255. Right. So what are typical numbers that they have here in the original? That's the question. Are they expecting the same? So let's have a wobbly do one. Wobbly do. Spawn enemy 0, 0, 0. Yeah. 275 wobble. And then speed is just 7. Yeah. This is not correct. I'm doing something wrong. I think I'm using the wrong sine function. Yeah, that's the feeling I'm getting. I think I'm referring to the wrong one here. So let's see. Enemy sin standard in Arduino. So it is sin in Arduino. That's the Arduino sin. Okay. I hope. Arduino sine function. Arduino reference. Okay. Ha, it is in radians. Great. And it's a float number. There you go. Okay. All right. Fine. Fine. I made really wrong assumptions here. So it is actually math sine. And then we have time, then the speed, and then times wobble. And so we are not using what is complaining here, undefined name math, so we need to import math here. Yeah, that seems to be more correct, and we still have to convert it to integer, and still constrain it. Should actually be constraining it in a more generic manner, I think. Okay, let's just run it and see what happens. It is very static, yeah, because the numbers I have in here are very stupid. So let's do 1 and then 100. So it is going plus minus 100 now. Yeah. So let's do 20 plus minus 20 at a speed times 10. Let's see. Woonk. That's much better. Okay. That's much better. We have a wobbly do. So we should probably commit this, but we can remove this one for now because this one is pretty useless. For now, and we don't need math. Okay, for now, it might be added later. Anything else? Yeah. Should be actually the drawing should probably be constrained. Let's see, is it dying even? Oh, no, it is not dying if it is in this mode. If it is in the wobble mode, it doesn't die by itself. It just wobbles. And then if I'm drawing it, it is constrained automatically by the draw function. So essentially, we should have that constraint also in the draw. And yeah, let's move that. So let's move the constraint to the, this is wrong. Wrong place. Let's move the constraint from here to the draw function. Alive, and then draw position should be utils constrain. And then self position. Like this. And then not position, but draw position. Draw position and underscore. Draw pause. And we should just do position. We can now move this over. There we go. Range constraint, yeah. And build. Let's see. And explode. Why did it explode? What did I do now? Yeah, because I did it again. Pause. There we go. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. So we have a wobbling enemy. Very good. Very, very good. And now I can also move here. And we are passing through them. Okay. Okay, so let's commit this, I would say. Okay. Commit early and often. Let's do okay, stage all, then commit message will be enemy class basic tick and draw methods. It can wobble now. There we go. And how do I do this now? I think there's nothing to commit. Nothing to commit. Stage all. Oh, you have to stage like this. I see. Okay. Yeah, I have not used the Sublime merge yet, so I'm getting used to it myself. So bear with me. Commit 3 files, and then we can push it. Hopefully. Okay, cool. So that worked. Okay, next. First of all, let's check what our time is. Oh, wow, that took an hour. Damn it. Just such a simple thing, and it takes already an hour to implement with all the mistakes and errors that one makes while doing it. Okay. So what should be the next thing? We should probably look into how the player... Let's... Let's implement killing of the enemy. That is the easiest thing, I think. So... after tick and tick, we should, I think we tick both. We tick the enemy, we tick the player, and then do the death calculations or the collisions. Yeah, check collision, and then this way the player can take care of check collision methods. That's what we will start adding. I think so, because otherwise we have it in a global way like this, where we have where was that? Spawn. Tick enemies. So we tick it, then we check collisions and die whatever, and then we draw it, and then we kill the player last. Let's just do that where we do tick 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 for each of the entities, then we calculate collisions, and then we do the drawing. I think that's a much more sane way of doing this. So the order here has to be checked, but do enemy collide, and then player collide. Let's call this method. I'm sure there is a better name for this. It's like, because tick collision or calculate collision, we cannot tick it. We have to tick them all first so that they all move to the new positions in that frame, then do the collision detection and do kill it or whatever, and then draw it. So I think that's the only way of doing it. If it is already dead, we will not do collide, and then player collide. So let's do enemy collide first. Tick F collide self, and then if not self dot alive, then return, and then now we need to know if the player is alive. Now we need to have a state of the world. That's the interesting part. So should we have a global? Well, we can't have really a global variable, right? Because they are in their own modules, I think. So what we need to do, so this becomes like a circular thing now. We can pass the world state. Yeah, we should start putting this in the world, I think. Yeah, it should be a hash. Player. Is the player speed? Are we still using it? Yeah, we are. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This could become a class eventually. What is it? Player. Colon player. Eventually it will be enemies, and it will be its own array of enemies. But this way we can get access to the world. and check things. Collide and then world. We probably can instantiate everything, but then we have circular dependency. Yeah, we would have to, after all the objects are created, then assign, give all the objects the world afterwards. We cannot do it on initialization because the world is not populated yet. Or although that's not true because the hash will be updated. So these are all references. So it shouldn't be a problem. We can have the world state and just populate it. We can do it on initialization, but for now I will just pass it as this. We can refactor it later. World, and then if world player dot attacking, then we do if we could actually pass our own position and ask the player if we are in their range. Anyways, this becomes now interesting. Who is responsible for calculating the distance from each other? Yeah, so yeah, this is interesting. Things are becoming interesting. So attacking, enemy pole position, player position, plus minus, we can just extract those and attack with. Player position and attack with. Pause is let's do that. Let's do player first. Player pause player dot position range attacking range, where is it? Player, what was it? Attack range, right? Attack with, that's the word. Attack with. This is not a good name. It should be attack range. Okay, if dots and then pause. Position, then if pause is pause is larger than play position minus versus is greater pause minus p range divided by 2 or is that an and? What's going on here? Why is it? Yeah, it is an and. It should be and pause is smaller than p pause. Yeah, because if it is or, then it will always be true because it is always bigger or smaller than the other one, or it will be like on the opposite sides. Anyways, plus p range divided by 2. Then self dot alive equals false, and I die because the player was attacking. And I am in a position that is greater than the position minus range, or smaller than position plus range. Okay. Let's see if that works. And explode? Nope. Okay. Dunk, dunk. Yeah, it killed. Haha. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, so my attack. And bam. It died. Woo! Okay, I killed an enemy. Sweet. Okay. Okay, so that's one. Now the question is, should the player do the same thing? Yeah, this is the things that affect. How do we like contextualize this? So we probably should say everything that causes me to do something should be happening in the collision routine of myself. Because, for example, if I was checking well, then the player has to go through all the enemies and check if they are alive, right? But the enemies could be killing the player, because this way, if I just go through collides of all the enemies, yeah, so I think what makes more sense is to actually affect the player and kill the player in the enemy itself. So the enemy should perform the action of killing the player. Okay. Because then if they're only the alive ones are doing the check. Still don't know if that makes sense. Still think that the player should be doing it. I don't think it, from the performance standpoint, it doesn't matter at all, because we have to go through essentially. Yeah, let's do that in the. So first of all, let's move this guy in its own class. And so first let's commit this, that we added the collide to the enemy. Then let's move it out into its own class, and then implement the player collision. Okay, let's do that. Is that even readable? No, it is not really readable. Let's do this way. Stage all, and then so this is essentially the adding collide, adding the world, and then doing collide world. Okay. Ah, it's already pushing. Whoa. Yeah, I need to buy a license for this. This is actually pretty nice. So the reason why I'm using Sublime Merge here, I usually use the command line, but this seems to be visually a little bit easier to see, and I think for streaming purposes it will be easier for the casual viewer to see what I'm doing. Because for all this like very basic stuff, I don't really need a UI for any of this. But it feels like it might be nicer and easier to see what I'm doing here. Okay. Okay, so let's move this into its own class. So new file, and then save it as enemy. Am I doing this? Enemy .py. Save, and then we can copy this. Oh. So we need math, and then utils, and we need the enemy, and we need to do enemy, and we need the license header. There we go. Let's see if that works. Seems like it. Very good. And there we go. Cool. All right, so yeah, we can commit this. Nope, wrong file. So what do we have here? Stage, and then untracked files, stage.enemypy. Into its own module, right? Yeah, just call it file. Commit, and then push. Bam. All right. So now we can do the player collision and just die. And for that, we will need a special state because we will be in dying mode for a bit. Because the interesting thing here now is that when we die, let's look at this. Die, die, die. Where's the die function? Die. Player alive. Oh, player alive. This can decrease the lives of the player. And then if lives equals 0, then stage game over. And then we do the game over animation. And particles. Right. Decrease the amount of lives. If lives is 0, it's game over. Otherwise, we do spawn the particles. All the particles. Reset the start time of the level. Go into dead mode. Oh, and then recover. I'm not sure I like the way it is implemented here. So let's just look at the... We still are not game overing. Because this should be... So we should have an object of the gameplay that is managing the overall gameplay, which we don't have at the moment. We only have the player and enemy objects. And we have the LED string abstraction. Yeah, we would need to create particles. But for now, we can just kill the player and reset its position, right? Because the gameplay does, what does it do when we are, where is it? Dead, yeah. Boss killed, dead, play, startup. Okay, so we are in dead. That's the game mode for dead. It plays the dead sound, clears, does the tick for the die animation, and if lives, oh, and it is a global thing, does game over or load level, reloads the level. Game over, game over, loads the level. We don't have the load level function at all, but we could do the particles animation. Still curious how I should do, if I should do where did I do this? Did I write it wrong, or where is it? Hi Code Therapy, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I missed your message. Yeah, I don't know. I might have typed it wrong in some wrong place. Yeah, it is versus possessive it's. Right. Die, game over. Let's see. Tick, tick, tick. Tick enemies, tick boss. Draw. Tick lava. Tick particles. Tick particles. Particle pool, alive, so they are all alive. Tick. Use settings, gravity. So it essentially explodes them and then drops them to the bottom, which is very nice. It's a very nice animation in the original. I definitely want to recreate it. Particle pool power brightness is based on power. Okay. Anyways, so let's just do the collision detection and die at least. Oh, right, because we need to know that we need to know the previous position of the enemy. That's how it was calculated, because the enemy could swap positions between one and the other frame, between where it was, where it is, and it should be wrapping us around. So this is the interesting part. Where is the enemy setting the side? Because this is moving, and then we have speed, position, direction, alive. Where is the side? Oh, this player side is completely just a class variable. Okay, that's weird. Player position, and this is with spawn enemy. It is being set. Player side, hit player. Yeah. Where is it updating it though? Spawn enemy, player side. Oh, if player side is 1 and enemy, oh, it is exceeding or equal to the player position. Oh, I see. So it basically, all it matters is when it was spawned before the player, then if it's on this side, then I check if the position is here or lower, versus if the enemy was spawned here, then if it is again the same position or higher. That's the trick. Okay. So only when I'm spawning I need the information about the player. So we have to pass the world to the init function. Oh man, right? That is true, because that's essentially the spawn. Well, not really. Oh, the spawn is its own thing. So that's not just the initialization of the class. So we have this enemy, but we can spawn that enemy, even though, because these are the defaults. So we can just set these defaults and don't really need to set them. The only thing we really need to pass is the LED string. Okay. Let string position is just 100, just by default, and then speed. Yeah, we can. This should be just zeros eventually. That's fine. And wobble. We have just the wobbly thing. Just copy that. 20. Okay, and now we need to also draw, tick, collide. We also need to spawn self world and we can have position yeah, this should be 0. It's not moving, it's just being spawned. Yeah, that's fine. If we just create it, and it should not be alive, it should be false. They should all spawn, be created as dead. And then position should be, yeah, we need all this information. Wobble. We can have this set to 0, as by default the wobble is not available. And because we definitely need, in every case we need position, in every case we need the speed, but we can ignore wobble if we don't want it. Okay. Now, first of all, self.alive is true. Second of all is self.position. Position is position. Self.speed is speed. Self.wobble, wobble. And then what we have here is the world. We could keep the world here, and then we don't need to pass it again. I know. Still confused if I should just not pass the world in the first place, just like I do with LED string. I think I should do that. Just the world here. Let's do that. And that's better, I think. Then we don't need to do this. Then we can do the following: self dot player side. Is that what it was called? Player side is essentially spawn let's do this way. If position is greater than world self dot world player position, then self dot player position player side equals 1, and else self player side -1. And we can set this to a default when we instantiate the class. Self dot player side equals 0. Whatever, it doesn't really matter because we are dead. But at least we know that this is a class variable instead of having to look for it later through all this stuff. So player side, okay. And then we should also do the following. The world should be created here. Oh, come on. And it should be just initialized as empty. Right. There was something where, let's see. So source then bin activate, and then TWANG, there we go. And if I is that correct? Yeah. Let's do the following. And then world. I don't think I can just, can I just create things? Yeah, this is me and being a noob in Python. One. Oh, okay, so it does create these. Okay, cool. So I can just pass this and then assign this stuff later. So screensaver, actually this is, can I move this? No. Is it Shift Alt? Nope. I don't remember. Shift Control? Yep, okay. So screensaver, then we do this one, world. Then the player should get a let string and then world. This is a new thing. The enemy should get just string and world. And then player speed. And after each we should do world. Or it can add itself, right? It could actually add itself to the world. Yeah, it can add itself. Cool. Come on. Okay, so let's do player. And as the last thing is, can it add self to this? Will that work? Player. Equals self. Let's see if that works. Okay, and then enemy. Let's do a similar thing. Should be enemies, and it should be a list. Let's do this. If not top. Will that fail? I think it might fail. if I do this, if world, and then get an index that doesn't exist, I think that should fail. Just like this. Key error, yes. So there is this weird thing in the you can decorate. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, is one option. There is also a decorator that I can make have it a default. It's like default array or default something. I just how is it? Hash default value. Not using get to return value. There is set default. Is that what it is? Anti-pattern. Get key default. Yeah, default dict. Yeah, that was it. That was it. It's in collections, right? Default dict. How does it work? Default dict. Collections. Here's an example. So we take a list, takes a list, default dict. This description is dumb. Or you can just manually check if enemies is not in world. So yeah, it's if it is in keys, right? Keys? I guess? I don't remember. Yes. So it is if not enemies in keys world, then world world dot enemies equals list containing just self, right? Else world enemies dot append. No, it has to be append right? That's how it should be. It's enemies self. I think that's how it worked. Correct? No, it's complaining. Not in. undefined name. What? Oh, not in world. Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you. And then, oh yeah, you don't need the keys. Okay, cool. What am I doing here wrong? Undefined name append. Oh, so it is world dot append self, right? Okay, so enemy and we still need to look into enemy. We have the player. This should now still work, right? No, it is exploding. What did I? Oh, because the world doesn't need, this doesn't need to be passed anymore. Yeah, so the enemy is dead, so we can do let's do the initialization here. This is Pygame stuff, speed. So let's do at the end, do enemy dot spawn. Because, oh, and we should put the positions and everything in here because we removed it here. So it was, position was 100, speed was minus 10, and something, no, minus 4, and then wobble was 40 or 20. Yeah. That is somehow wrong. Spawn enemy. Why is my spawn not working correctly? So spawn position. Position should be 100. Oh, right. Because I didn't say set origin either. Yeah, origin has to be set too. No, position. There we go. Let's do that. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so that works, and then it is still killing. Okay, cool. So we are back to where we were. Should we commit that? I think we should commit that because we refactored this so that the, let's see, what did we change here? So mainly we refactored the way world works. Yeah, okay. Stage. And they register themselves. Okay, cool. Oh no, Ed, it's very useful. It's very helpful. Thank you so much for the help. That is that's why we are doing it as a stream. It's like it's a collaborative project, so don't worry about it. I would be scratching my head and reading documentation on my own here otherwise. Okay, bam. Okay, so now we should make sure. So enemy, when it is spawning, it knows the player side. Now we can go to player and implement collide. Attack should be these are specific to that def collide self, and we don't have time here, do we? Collide and then spawn. Yeah, this is specific to the class, so that it is somewhat in order here. Player. Let me reorganize the tabs a little bit here. Player collide, and now enemies. So we assume there's always enemies around to, yeah, for enemy in world enemies. Yeah, correct my spelling too. It's I'm not a native speaker, as you might imagine, so it's worth if there's someone backseat driving and correcting my spelling. I do have spell checker enabled, I think, or maybe I don't. I have to make sure that I have spell checker enabled for the future. But yeah, it's I don't want to spread false spelling around the world. So for enemy in world enemies, if enemy dot player position or something, what was it? Player side. So what was it? Yeah, let's just look at the original implementation here. Yeah, so this is how it is implemented here. Player side 1, then if it goes from positive to negative. Let's start with 1. So let's do this way. Or, okay, and position, right? Self.position is smaller equal enemy.position. Do we want to have a little bit more brackets here? Yeah, I think we do, for clarity's reasons. Yeah, so that's it. Or enemy dot player side equals -1. oh, first of all, if the enemy is alive. If enemy dot alive. If not enemy alive, then we skip. Continue. If then we do I have to do backslashes here? Because this shouldn't be indented, to be honest. It should just be aligned. And self.position enemy position. Then we died. So let's, in this case, for now, just yeah, we could call self.die. I guess. So we would decrement lives here. Just minus minus. Can I do that? I don't know if I can do that. Okay, let's just do stupid thing. Self alive. Just reset position. 0. Yeah, let's do that for now, just to test it. Okay, so what? It's the problem here. Invalid syntax. So I need to, I guess, do this. Yeah, unfortunately. Ah, self world. And why is it complaining here? Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, collide, and then we should do this here. Collide. And let's try it. So explode, because has no attribute world. Right. Did I not set it? Right. There we go. Should be better. I cannot move. Am I dying all the time? I might be dying all the time. I think I'm dying. Just pass. Yeah, I was dying all the time. I'm doing something wrong here. Self position, enemy position. Player side. So how did I do this? So if enemy, was that the other way around? Yeah, I think it was the other way around. Let's do this. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I'm dying now. Sweet. Can I kill you? Yeah, I can kill you. Okay, cool. Bonk, and dead. And dead. Okay, cool. All right, that's nice. Yeah, so the player now needs to... Yeah, we are now beyond the time I allow myself for streams, but yeah, we should wrap it up. But still, this is pretty cool. Now we implemented enemies today, and we did some refactoring and created a world. That's nice. We implemented collision. That's very good. Okay, so let's commit this. Let's see. Collide self and die. Oh yeah, I failed there, right? that should be merged actually into the previous commit. Yeah, I should amend the previous commit. Let's stage this. Player, enemy, player, and the world. Yeah, I didn't stage this stuff. Player, should we just unstage this hunk? Yeah, we should unstage this hunk. And then in here, we should, can we unstage this line? Can unstage this hunk, but then the still unstage hunk. Can I just commit these two lines somehow? It's frustrating. Okay, let's do the following. I just want to fix the top level stuff. Let's just remove this. Let's do this. Stage this hunk. Yes. All right. Player, stage tiles. So this is staged. That's just fine. This should be amend previous commit. There we go. And then now we can take this and then stage this. And then we can add this. There we go. And then stage. There we go. Now it's correct. Implemented. The player entity Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought, that there is no minus minus and plus plus, so just increment or decrementer. You have to do plus equals 1. Yeah, that's why I didn't do it, because I had the tingling sensation. And commit these 2 files, and now push force. Bump, very good. No one saw anything, it's fine. Everything is fine, nothing to see here. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think this will be it for today, because we are... There we go. All right, so that was fun. I hope you had fun too, as much as I did. And we will be doing more streaming in near future. Welcome, Captain Morgan. Yeah, Twitch can sometimes be a little bit annoying. I'm sorry you had trouble with it. Yeah, I still hope you were able to watch the stream, at least partly. As a side note, I started to upload the archives from the streams also to YouTube. So my YouTube channel also has the archives there, because I had, to be honest, one person complain, but it's still there. I had one person complain that the stream was unwatchable on Diode Zone, so I decided to upload on YouTube too. So I will do that for these streams too in the future. And yeah, so the few last things for the end of the stream, as always, if you want to support what I'm doing here, buy stuff from 1BitSquared, for example, or on crowd supply from our campaigns. Otherwise, you can support me on Patreon if you want to. That would be wonderful. This helps a lot to make these streams a reality. I also want to thank the Patreons that are supporting the stream with the special tiers above $5, and they get a shout out. Thank you so much. So Edward Borden, thank you so much. Jerzy Hacker, Jordi Parques Rodriguez, and Sid Price, thank you so much for your support. And everyone else, even if you are chipping in $1, that's always worth it, and thank you very much. Check out our Discord channel. We have a channel for the streams. You can discuss things. I have the source code of this project posted on my GitHub. Just check down below. There should be a link. And yeah, if you have been, thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye.